to South First. This is Chetana Belagere here, and we are here to discuss something really important today. India lost 2 resident doctors in the last 15 days. Unfortunately, both died by suicide. Studies across the world has shown that doctors have a higher risk of suicide when compared to other adults. The 2 recent suicides has brought back attention to the growing issue of mental stress among doctors. In several situations, the reason behind the deaths of doctors are dismissed, stating it was personal. He or she was under stress. It had nothing to do with their work hours. She was mentally disturbed and whatnot. Today, we have with us 3 panelists who are from the profession. Dr. Sunil Kumar, who has held several key positions, including former Director General of Health Services in the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. He is joining us from Delhi. We welcome you, sir. And we have with us Dr. Muralidhar Avinash, who is the spokesperson of Telangana Junior Doctors Association, and Dr. Namratha C. She is senior resident from Mandya Institute of Medical Sciences from Karnataka. We welcome you all. Dr. Avinash, if you could tell us, everybody is talking about mental stress among doctors. Without passing general statements, let's break it down and tell the audience what are some of the problems, actual ground reality of problems that you have heard and faced as a junior doctor.
The topic today was like debate on doctor's suicide. It was very small statement, but I like to call it as the doctor's suicide syndrome. Like every syndrome will take time to progress. Like it will not happen in 1 day or 2 days. So the point is, if you pertain this topic layer by layer, we will understand the differences. Like if you are telling that mental issues are like people are talking more on mental issues like depression, all those things. But depression, like okay, depression I accept it. But like love failure depression, financial depression, it is not that depression actually. Like these are all silly examples. Like people they tell like a depression because if you say so, like the doctors died due to depression, people will ignore it. Like okay, he died due to the main real reason will bury it.
Exactly, that's my point. So if you can list us, if you can list, see, these are the statements which we have been hearing. Yes, so what are some of the actual problems?
So the thing is, if you compare, like individually, if you compare from the seniors, Sunil Kumar sir, when he studied MBBS and when we are studying MBBS, we both have the same degree, like MBBS only. But the level of skills and the level of mental ability they have, we are lagging in it. After 10th only they are going to Inter, and then only they are in Inter they are not playing anything. They are not playing cricket. They are not doing anything, and they are just putting their focus on NEET and then NEET PG and then NEET SS. Like they are going step by step. In our college also, I am studying in Usmania Medical College, Hyderabad. First year PG, first year UG, he is studying for PG itself, right from the first year. And why it is
happening? The academic pressure is so much that that is one of the reasons.
Academic pressure is much, ma'am, and like academic pressure is much, and society pressure is also much. Like society, if I'm a doctor, like I want to dance now, like I am feeling depressed, I want to commit suicide, but I have a passion of dance, so I will dance now. If I start dancing, like people will like, hey, you are a doctor, man, don't dance. You are a doctor, man, don't sing. You are a doctor, don't do anything. Like people see doctor as only studying. He should study, he should save people. He should study, like he don't have any personal life. That is a matter.
Let me just go to Namratha. Let me just go to Dr. Namratha. Namratha, you have been there. I mean, you have seen this. You've also been, president for associations earlier. We have spoken earlier. So what is your take on this? But what is that which is happening in the college, in the hospital that you think is actually leading to depression in doctors?
Yes, Chetana, like Dr. Avinash, he rightly said the things which is going outside. But I would like to point out, see, now the trend has changed. When I was joining the medical, it was just a CET, what we call the Karnataka entrance exam, where the competition, the coaching, everything was also up to whatever on par with the competition what we had. Now, if you can see, it is NEET PG, where the NEET UG, whatever it is, which is highlighted as one of the toughest exams of the India. I mean, one of the toughest exams. So the preparation level in the students, also has increased. The mental stress has increased. And what I feel is, not to demarcate other students who don't join medical, the so-called type A personality students, who are the type A personality students are those, or personality persons are those who are very rigid, who are not flexible to the outside changing environment or whatever it is. They want the things to be done very rightly, like this only. They cannot adjust to the things which goes other way around. And one more thing is, now the students are in a mindset where they cannot accept the failures easily, which was not the same with us. So we were like, okay, chalega, let's take up the one more thing. It goes fine. But now students are getting depressed so easily. Even they want the rank one. I want the topmost seat. So with this mindset, when they come, they pass medical and they come into PG. So what happens exactly in the PG is, what mindset in mindset the students will be is, I have worked so hard so that I get returns very easily. See, 4.5 years plus 1 year plus 1 year preparation, 3 years of PG. Then if you want to do super specialty again, at the end of almost 11 plus 15 years. So soon after the 15 years also will not be in a position to earn in lakhs as on par my other occupations to, fellows will be earning. So that one mindset, if any small things go wrong, what sets the mind? What is the fruitfulness that I am getting, even if I'm working so hard? What is that I'm fetching out? At the end of the day, I'll not fetch anything which is fruitful. That mindset is being running in the students. And
so
if
I
you
would want to ask
here,
Dr. Sunil Kumar here. Doctor, here we are hearing from the junior doctors and resident doctors themselves talking about how things are changed. There is also this issue about that the resident doctors are, loaded with responsibilities. They are like made to work for 30 to 40 hours at a stretch without proper leave, without any, facilities as such for them.
So your specific question related to the workload in the past and now, the working conditions or the working environment. I would say that the working environment is largely improving. So the science, as the science is evolving, the working is improving. It's becoming more scientific. However, it is becoming more and more demanding also. For example, with the population increase and with the rise in the diseases, people are flocking the hospitals, and the majority of the burden of the patients and their diseases is borne by the government hospitals, if I may say that. Although this may be a debatable issue to some people, that what is the load in the government versus the private. However, government hospitals are definitely loaded, and the poor people, the middle class people have to find a solution, and the doctors working over there are bound to give them the solution. So they are burdened. There's no doubt about it. Now, with the result that working, as far as the working is concerned, previously also we used to work like the same. See, I recall my days of working in the hospital. I used to work at a stretch for a very long time. 24 hours was minimum. And then we used to deliver babies and give injections and injections, treat hordes of patients. So the working pattern has remained the same. We are working, all the resident doctors.
This is the problem, Dr. Sunil Kumar. I'm just curious to know, Dr. Avinash, what do you think? I have spoken to PG doctors earlier, for my other stories, and they have told me that for the seniors or, for whoever has been there, they think that it is, since we have worked like that, we have worked for 48 hours. So it's so what? Big deal. Why can't you work?
Yeah, to keep it simple, it is yes. Like people, like in majority departments, like not in all departments, but few departments. I don't want to mention it right here, but few departments are like that. We used to call that departments as toxic departments. Like we funfully we'll call it like that. Like they will work for 36 hours. Like in gynec department, we used to work for 36 hours. Like no sleep, no food, nothing. 36 hours, and then Like we'll deliver 10, like 20 deliveries, and one mistake it will happen, like Foley's catheter or whatever, and we'll do 36 hours. And that minute we did that small mistake, they will score like hell. Like they'll score for 1 hour. Like they will mark absent. Like they will inform to the HOD. Like he will do that. We will do 36 hours work, and we'll contribute to the society. Like her mindset or mind mindset, it will be where is no. Like, few people will survive in that environment, and few people will not. Like that's the matter.
Is
But
there
people just
so Dr. Namratha, do you think that, have you seen that this attitude, what I'm, trying to say is this attitude of,
Exactly.
is there a rule book? Like, is there a rule book which says that, okay, a doctor, PG doctor or a resident, I mean, whoever, he or she has to work only for this many hours. There has to be so many leaves given. So is there a rule book like that? Tell me if
We
there is.
don't have a rule book as such, but as I was doing my residency, I did my residency from Bangalore Medical College. We were given 2 CLs per month, but that also we had to adjust others, and so that the work is not hampered in our respective places where we are posted. But what I would like to say is, as you said, the right word, attitude. Towards nowadays, among the youngsters, the attitude is a bit of easygoing. I feel that strength of they have become a bit weak. Like there is no rule, nobody will tell you that don't have food. Maybe few places in the North India or few very big government institutions, they only dump work on you, and it depends on your smartness how you get the work done, and in between the work how you manage to take a bit amount of rest and a bit amount of food. It depends on how you manage. And this working for 36 hours, 48 hours, it might feel an exaggeration, but I feel somewhere only during your PG residency, before you present yourself to the society, it molds you to manage the complications, even among in the critical situations, or to face any sort of things like emergency calls also, which working like 36, 48 hours, you will not be doing throughout your career. Only this during your training period, you will be made to do this. I think this is, I cannot call it as a required, but you'll have to manage these things.
Dr. Sunil also has to say something. If Dr. Sunil, you can tell us. I mean, is that what is
I don't
really?
agree with our respected junior colleague, Dr. Anuradha, is it?
Namratha.
Namratha.
Yeah.
Namrata. No, the errors are caused when you are sleepless, when you are stressed, when you are overworked. You cannot handle the complications well when you are already overworked. Like, for example, very simple issue. If the auto driver or a bus driver or a pilot has not rested for some time, that person cannot do a critical work. So I don't agree with this, that you have to go through this so that you can manage the complications better. I don't agree with it, fundamentally. As far as the second issue is concerned, there is a rule. Unfortunately, most of us do not know. Unfortunately, most of us are ignorant about it. We are covered, the doctors are covered under the labor code. And after the Supreme Court intervention, it is very clearly laid down that at a stretch for 12 hours in a day and 48 hours in a week, one should not be asked to work. But they have added one thing. Honorable Court has added something else to it, which is being exploited by the managers like us everywhere. I've been managing the hospital for since 2015, and then I became the DGHS. So I've managed a number of hospitals. So there is a subject to the availability of the manpower and the work. I normally will say that even now when I'm managing my residents, suppose somebody reports that sir so-and-so has not reported for the emergency of duty. I said, no problem, let us talk to her or him and find out what is the issue. And if she is not well, let her rest or him rest rather than forcing that person. Basically, you have to devise a system. Nobody is indispensable. We have to also learn to manage the number of patients with limited resources, and also have to have the system of managing the patients with lesser number of hands also. This is a triage, how we can manage. And this comes with experience. So we don't have to go through that hell, and not necessarily through such a rigorous punitive kind of an approach that no, you have to work so that because I have worked, so you have to go through this, and otherwise you will not learn.
So, Dr. Avinash, if you can just tell me, Dr. Sunil was talking about resources. Like you have been there in the association in Telangana. Do you actually see that there is a problem with in terms of resources, and hence there is a burden on junior doctors, or there is a burden? How is that? How it is?
In government setups, it is not. In government setup, we will usually see this. Like in private hospitals, they will provide everything so that the patient
Yeah,
takes
let's talk
care
about
of it.
government. Let's talk about government.
Mostly in government, like in Hispania, in the tertiary care centers, and in PSCs also. From the PSCs till the tertiaries, the PSC will not have many things. Like only paracetamol and basic things will be there. And if a snake bite case come, they will not manage it. They will not manage it in the PSC, and if they in tertiary centers also, like they will provide the indent, and if you write for 1,000, they will give 500. I don't know why. 500 they will give. Like with the 500, we should manage the patients. And in this center, in government setups, like my seniors used to say, like if you like the India is like it's a developing country, the resources will be less, so we should manage with the available resources. Many people, that's okay. But if the resources are less, will not provide the best quality of treatment. The point number one. And second thing, if the resources are not there, I learned how to manage the snake poisoning case. But because I don't have the resources, I will not manage it. No, so my knowledge is gone wasted with the resources. So that is point number two. And the third point, it is recently emerging, like this point. Like with the less resources, if the patient died due to that, they will not talk about the less resources. They will only talk about the doctor, like why you did like that. So it is becoming trend that patients are beating doctors, like assaulting on doctors. They
Has
are
there
talking
been,
on
Dr.
suicide. That's
Avinash,
okay.
I just want to interrupt you here. Has there been situations where, junior doctors have been are being the ones who are facing the brunt,
Yes,
and, the
yes.
seniors are not there at all?
This is the issue actually. Like majorly from the government on in the government colleges, it is this truth must be said. Like the dragging thing. Like seniors will drag in UGs first year UG will be ragged by the seniors. That's okay. Like we'll call it as ragging. Like we have sections for that. Okay, anti-ragging committee and also. And PGs will rag UG. That is also a ragging. But associate assistant professor will also, in a different way, he will rag. It is not ragging. Like if students do this, it is called ragging. If associate or if HOD is this, it is called professionalism. Like it is senior or whatever. Point is, if first year resident or intern, he will stay in the casualty, and the duty doctor who is present, he will stay like he will sleep. And if the patient comes, he should call him. Like he should call him. He should go and knock the door, and he should welcome him, and he should do all the things, and he will come. So in that time, we will not have the resources, we will not have the proper knowledge, not have proper skills, and seniors will do like this. And at that time, the person who will face that brutality is intern.
Dr. Sunil, will start from you. What are the things which you think should be immediately done to, take control of the situation?
Well, systematically, we have to analyze the suicides, number one. I think the suicides by the medicos are not scientifically analyzed, number one. And we have to find out accordingly the solutions as to what exactly is the reason, instead of saying that it is because of the previous illness. Previous illness may have contributed. However, since it is a death on premises, it could be better handled by scientific analysis so that the future medicos can be protected or can be given a better environment. This issue can be discussed, like the resident doctors can discuss with the managers, including, and the conduit or the via media can be the senior doctor, intermediary doctors, who can really see the solutions, who can really see the situation, and then communicate effectively to the managers so that the resident doctors are comforted as far as their own pressures are concerned, peer pressures and expectations, family expectations, that is to be solved by them. However, issues like mentorship, however, like work environment, however, like work stress, etc., can be resolved, and that can be resolved by, from the point of view, by better segregation of the work, teamwork, allocation of the work according to the capabilities, as well as the duty hours, by talking to the seniors, recruitment of more manpower, and I think availability of a senior doctor around the clock in the hospitals or in the work premises, so that they can be guided, so they continue to work in a team manner. So these are some of the things which I think, and therefore a dialogue can open up.
Okay, Dr. Namratha, if you could quickly tell me what you have to say about it.
Like one more thing is, during our residency, we'll be of the age like 25, 27, where we'll have to bear the shoulder, responsibility of a family. But during that period, we will have to handle our studies, and many institutions, many states, they pay very less stipend. So if your government can look into that issue, like if they can raise the stipend so that they can support their families, some amount, half of their amount of the burden is reduced.
Yeah, Dr. Avinash, we can quickly, if we can say in 30 seconds.
The best thing to do is to add the psychiatric skills in the curriculum itself. In first year UGC, in second year UGC, in PGs also, we should add it. Like in psychiatry, they'll give the question like that. What is the reason for the doctor's suicide? What is the reason for the assault? Like they should ask the question in the paper so that they'll learn it, and then they'll. I think it will work. Like NMC also should look into the statistics. They should not ignore it. Like NMC, government can ignore, but NMC should not ignore it. So it should initiate a documentation and research on doctor suicide every year or 5 yearly. It will be helpful.
Okay. Thank you very much, all of you. I think it was wonderful, really eye-opening debate where, the actual problems have been discussed, and also possible solutions which the NMC can actually consider and must consider probably. And it was wonderful talking to you. That is all we have for today. Thank you very much.